Hi, Sandites. Welcome to January 2026 Sandite Chat. We have started a brand new school year, and you have the luxury of being present with us, hopefully, to meet Aubriana Hightower.
Hi there.
And Winter Smith. I'm excited, you guys. We have had the opportunity to have a few added positions that are grant funded that allow us to expand student services in ways that we wouldn't be able to do. So hit the academics hard, keep it safe, run buses, get people here. But man, reaching out in a broader way to help families is brilliant. So we are just blessed to have you two on board this year. This is your first year in this endeavor. And so I just want you to kind of introduce yourself, each of you, and then talk about exactly what the heck a school-based family specialist is.
Can do. Hi, I'm Aubriana Hightower, and as she said, it's a new position, so kind of still navigating what that all entails. But essentially, we can help all students. We can help staff members of Sand Springs Public Schools, and so we can help with resources like clothing, shoes, food, utilities, housing. I mean, you name it, we're here. Sometimes we're here just to have a shoulder to lean on and just to bounce ideas off of with staff for families and things like that. And I'm the elementary. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Good deal.
And I am Winter Smith, as you were saying. She already introduced what we do, so I will say I am the secondary school-based family specialist. So I cover the middle school, the high school, and Page Academy. And then we both team up with virtual students as well, right, and families.
So we have an expanse of options for kids in school, and some of them are full-time virtual, some blended, half-time virtual, some alternate, so just all over the place in terms of what people choose and having schooling delivered to them. So you talked about the common things like food needs or just personal hygiene needs, some of the basic stuff. You all came and spoke to our leadership team the other day, which is fabulous. So you got to talk really more broadly about some of the unique things that people will ask for. And then I think some of us talked about even other things that people don't even think about being in need. So can you talk about those unique things? What's different? Like not just food, like churches and such, the food pantry, Sand Springs Community Services kind of covers some of that, but you've been doing some unique things. So can you want to share about some of those things?
Sure. So I am actively helping a student get his ID, a social security card. We got him a new, when I say we on this part, those school counselors actually helped out getting him ordered a new birth certificate.
Nice.
And so we're trying to get him a job set up because, so that when he graduates, he'll be set up and ready to go. We're getting him housing because, he's in transition right now, which, that's also a McKinney-Vento thing as well. But like we work with them and, applications for everything from a job to sign up for insurance. Like we got them some insurance signed up for and things like that. And so like that's why when she says like the sky's the limit, like it's a little bit of everything.
It's just thinking outside the box and really understanding what families and kids need.
Right.
And you really don't know that until you form relationships with them, which is why we have that source at the high school, source at the elementary, secondary format. But so we even threw some ideas out there. There are students, I just did a little bit of a piece at a chamber event today, and we talked about the community partners helping support state championship rings for our 2025 state championship football team. So that seems a little bit over the top, but those kids need and want and deserve things like that too. And so even those things are really essential to some kids just for socialization, fitting in, all of those things. Winter, you told a story to our staff about you wear a hat, a counseling hat too, like an LPC.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit and then kind of describe that whole relationship piece.
Okay, so I am also an LCSW, not an LPC.
I'm sorry.
We're better. No, I'm kidding.
I agree.
I'm totally kidding.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
but I am an LCSW, and so I also work as a therapist part-time. After I leave here at the school, I go and I do therapy for a few hours every day. And so it's all about rapport building.
Right.
It's all about making those relationships with those kids. And so, like, there are many times that I go up to the high school and I just have a conversation. And then next thing I know, they're coming, talking to me, saying, hey, I need a little help with this or that at home. I want counseling. Can you refer me somewhere to? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, because that's my job. Mm-hmm. But they feel comfortable enough to come talk to me about that because I have said hello to them so many times in the hallway. They do see my face. They do know who I am, you know? And then even like at Page, I was up there today and I was able to call them out by name and say, hey, how's that going? You know, last time I was here, this was going. How's your grades? What's going on there? Oh, you graduate? Like, yeah, I do. And I was like, okay. And so I was telling Keenan up there, I was like, I want to be at their graduation. So like, how does that work? And she was like, oh, it's in May, you know, I'll tell you more. And I'm like, I'll be there because this kid has told me he graduates in like 50,000 times. So
yeah, exactly.
I have to be there to cheer him on. Like, I'm so excited. And then like another one, you know, I work here, you know, I'm a chef at this place down the way. And so I was like, I'm going to go. Like, I'm going to have to come in and I'm going to have, I'm not even a big dessert person, but by golly,
I'm going to eat it.
He's a pastry chef.
That's great.
I'm going to eat it.
It's like we found a couple of people that have the experience and the heart to add at least one more trusted adult in their life that can just smile at them and say, go get him. You got this, that kind of stuff too. So those are very real things. And one of the things I think we do really well in Sand Springs, I'm really proud of it, is that we don't discount the capabilities of any kid to do what they want to do.
Right.
And that's the magic of a public school, specifically here, because that's where our heart is. We talk about kids, we talk about families a lot of times. Aubriana, I'm going to make you share a story again. Because we have staff members that are equally in need and struggle too.
And they're important too.
And they're important. They're our support system. And so you really work on yourself to stay mentally and physically healthy so that you can be there for kids. But you did an approach this winter before break, reaching families of our own employees, our staff members. Can you talk about it?
Of course. So essentially what happened is there was a SNAP benefit. It got cut off. The government shut down and things were very scary for a moment. So I had some staff members reach out and say, hey, I lost my food. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom. Is there anything that you can do to help? And absolutely. And so got my gears turning and just connected with a few people, just asking questions. It's a lot of this job too, is just asking different people different questions and see who they know and what they think and bouncing ideas off of everyone. And the final piece was you came to me and said, hey, we have Research donated some gift cards and what can we do with that? And so we figured it out. I went to Research and had them split up the gift cards, and we were able to fully fund 12 staff family with Thanksgiving.
Which is so meaningful. To be an employer that, I mean, it's not about me at all. It is about you people and doing the work on where the rubber meets the road. And knowing we care about our Sandite family, all of them. Winter, the student you were mentioning, we have not lots, but a few students that are self-support, meaning they don't have resources. So it's, while atypical not to have access to your birth certificate, it happens. And so really seeing that need. Elementary-wise, sometimes kids don't even know how to articulate what those needs are. Right. I always talk about sometimes kids grow up in a little bit of a chaotic environment and that becomes their normal. And so they're not sure exactly what normal is, if there is one, to be honest. But how much of your time do you spend in connection with families? You're talking to moms, you're talking to dads, you're talking to grandma about needs of them.
Yes. So I think, like for me, I just try to show my faces at different events to where families are coming to. That way that they can see and put a face. Because a lot of times people are hesitant to reach out for help, especially with somebody they don't know. So that relationship building piece is essential to what we do to help. And so a lot of what I've been encountering is just staff or counselors or principals will say, hey, I have this kiddo, this family that's going on. There's stuff going on. Is there any way that you can reach out and see what you can do? And absolutely. So essentially, it's just first contact saying, hey, my name is Aubriana Hightower. Is there anything that I can do for you? Do you have any needs that I can help with? And just through conversation, a lot of people realize, oh, yeah, I mean, that would be really helpful, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And getting people to really be open to help, because we know that there's a need out there, which is phenomenal. You had mentioned you were coming to a coffee with cabinet one time and you said, you guys would be better off if you go to parent teacher conference night and make yourself available. I'm like, that is a really good idea. So I love the sharing of ideas so we can all grow. Like we need to grow even in this building. So I appreciate that. You've been such a blessing. So you also shared a little bit of the stage with Susan Cox and now Jordan, I'm going to get her last name wrong. Welcher. I know her as Phillips as a kid. So she's amazing. She's not a kid anymore. She's a grown-up and a really great one. But you talked a little bit about homeless, and they do run what was called McGinney Bento, which deals with services to homeless children. But what's great about you all is you're not limited. Right. So it really isn't about need. It could be anything. Right. Which is just, I don't know, so phenomenal. So let's talk about community partnerships. Because I know in your role, there's always a need for resources. And when I say resources, I'm going to be blunt. We're talking about accessing funds in order you to do your jobs, because our grant pays your salary. And so it's really important that we connect with our community partners. I hear all the time people saying, how can I help? How can I help? But really not knowing what that looks like. So what are you thinking? We kind of threw around some ideas. Talk about how you would access those generous folks that are willing to help out and resource it out.
Can I take it?
Go right ahead.
So a part of our job too is community events or family events. And so just thinking about what would be the most bang for a buck, if you will. Right. And so just kind of thinking through things, I had thought of the idea of having like a swap shop, or like instead of a garage sale where people come and buy things, that we can swap. And so a way that the community could help is just bringing their stuff in and letting us distribute it, or being willing to, open it to other families. And I was thinking too is like, if you did bring things to swap, you would get a ticket and you can come swap for maybe the first couple of hours, and then it'd be open to the public. And I was going to ask for like a dry good or a canned good, just one to enter. Right. And then it could benefit, we could keep it for our families here at the school. And Winter, you want to talk about the grant that we asked for?
Yes. So that's another thing is, word of mouth talking, communicating. I was talking to someone who used to be a big person in Walmart, and I was just like, grants, Walmart, like what is available, what isn't, like how do I go about going to Walmart and saying, hey, there's a need at these schools. I need sweatpants, I need hoodies, I need, and literally like every school wanted like sweatpants and hoodies, underwear. So it was like basic things, it wasn't like they were asking for designer designer things. It was like basic things.
Did we create a whole list of,
okay, we did. Miss Claudia actually put together a Google sheet of like every school and their needs, and so Abby and I have a contact, or
I love that you call her Abby, by the way.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Yes, I love it.
She goes by Abby.
It's Abby. I know by Abby.
You can call her Abby. Okay. I call her Ob sometimes because I'm special. But anyways, we have access to that sheet. Okay. And so we can go and look and see what's needed and things like that. But then sometimes we get direct calls. Right. And so I call this person and I'm like, hey, how do I go to Walmart and like get them to donate stuff? Right. And then he tells me, well, this is what you do. You just go up there with the letterhead of the school and say, hey, I work for a school. This is what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. And then he goes, and while you're at it, just so you know, there's a grant, a Walmart grant. Sweet. And I said, what? There's a grant? He was like, yes. And it's like thousands of dollars grant, not just like $25 here and there. He was like, no, when you go to the store, they're not going to give you $1,000. They're going to give you like $50. And I'm like, listen, anything is better than nothing. I'm like, that's okay. Because right now we have nothing and we're just trying to. So I went up there and that Walmart is awesome. And he was like, I actually ended up calling him up because I talked to so many different people and I got his number and I said, hello, sir, this is Winter Smith. I was like, this is what I need.
Yes.
And he was like, okay. And you're with who? I'm like, Sand Springs. I'm talking like I'm somebody.
Right. Well, you are somebody.
I'm like, listen up. And he's like, how about I just give you a gift card for this much? And I'm like, perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. He's like, when can you come get it? I was like, I will come in like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And so I did. And then I was able to get sweatpants and things. And it wasn't a ton of money, but it was enough.
Right. Exactly.
There's things like belts.
Right.
That are needed sometimes.
I was seeing that they had like specific. I perused that list. I was shocked. And then Claudia would come in with carts full of stuff.
I know.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, we need a closet. We need a room. We need a room, a swap room. Yeah. I don't know what we call it. But some sort of space.
I'll be inspired to swap.
Maybe we could figure out here at Central. I don't know, but so that people can come and do what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And so we, I talked to Claudia and I said like, hey, there's a grant opportunity. She's like, what? And she's on it. And so this year we have been getting ready to apply for that grant. And I'm planning on going to other shops around. And like, if our viewers, if our community knows of they own shops or they know people who own shops that would be like willing to partner with us, call us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know because we would love that.
We're going to put your contact number right at the end of this little podcast so they can see you, which is great. So email or phone, but for sure. I also like to tell the public when they donate, we put funds in a gift fund, like it's tracked. So just to assure people that what they say they want their money to go to is in fact going to that, which is something we would always do, by the way. But you guys have been brilliant. And the idea is we rarely say no, to be honest, when somebody has a little brainchild idea that they think, well, this would be really great. It's not, oh, I don't think so. It's how can we?
Right.
And we try to make it happen, and I just see it over and over again. If I could ask you what you want families in Sand Springs to know about your work, what's the most important thing you can think of? What do you want people to know about you?
That's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
I want them to know about me personally or our position.
No, your position. Like,
okay.
How do I access you? What do I need to know?
Right.
Is anything too little? Is anything too big? That kind of thing. So
and so like I just want them to understand that we're here to help. We're here to help in a non-judgmental way. We just want to make sure that we can help you make your life easier.
Right.
Like it's already a struggle. Some days harder than others. You could be one question away from having so much less stress on your shoulders and from just being able to breathe.
Right.
So just like ask, it doesn't matter what to ask. And I will figure out, or I will talk to Abby. Like I've said, she's like the global thinker. She's like the macro social worker. She will be like, oh my gosh, what if we do this? And I'm just like, okay, but how can we?
Yeah, let's talk about the details.
I'm the little detail person. And then we figure something out and then we bring it to you or we bring it to Schley and we're like, what do you think?
Yeah.
And like you said, I have been able to notice that I don't know that we've ever gotten to know. It's more of a, okay, tell me more.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
How are we going to do that?
I just think through the last maybe 3 to 5 years, we've added resource officers. We've added a counselor through the opioid grant, abatement grant, through the state of Oklahoma. We've added a homeless liaison person, and now adding in this component that's more of a family outreach has just made my heart feel really happy. So I'm proud of you all. I'm proud of whoever conceptualized the grant. I think it might have been Carrie Schlager. I'm not sure who wrote the grant for it, but it is truly, truly brilliant. So this wasn't hard, this podcast. I know it's a little daunting to get on a podcast, but I think people really need to know the good things that we're doing and put faces with names too.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the podcast, we'll be putting all the contact information. So you guys are out there that I know you're listening. There is a way to get a hold of us, and it's going to be blatantly in front of you as soon as you finish this podcast. So anything else that we can add to it?
I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here.
It's wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Sandites. I hope you enjoy this podcast.